This is Justin Amazon on Thursday, February 7th, 2019. Today we had a bearish retest gap. We had a bit of a kind of a triangle forming pre-market and then immediately came down into 1617.54 and then just tried to bounce. It's actually kind of a bit of a hammer down here. But I wasn't buying it, and hopefully nobody else was in here because, just talking about things yesterday, I was looking for a move down into 1578.25. We didn't quite get that far today. We ran down quickly right into the next line, right at 1607. The low here is 1606.76. It chopped around a little bit, came back up and put in a really nice hammer, inverted hammer, right here off of the 21 exponential and 1617.54. And then not only did it just roll over from there, it rolled over, retested, came back up to that hammer, and rolled over again, getting almost all the way down to the line at 1591.04. So, there are some really excellent locations to be getting in bearish all through here, with the whole idea that this should pull back some more. It should go a little bit lower. Like I said, just didn't get another $15 over lower into 1578. But still, some really nice moves today could have been had. We'll look at the options prices in just a moment. When this started to bounce here, didn't quite get it all the way down to the line. It just chopped back up from this really nice triangle, broke out, retested it again with a hammer. Lots of hammers in here. Inverted hammer here, a regular hammer here, bullish positive hammer here, and then continued higher today. When it was doing this in here, I was hoping that this would roll over again and come back down and actually touch the line off of this area, because we had the squeeze forming. It was still had bullish momentum. Losing the bullish momentum, but then it regained it and broke out. And then when it was here, I was really hoping it would just, again, roll up like this would be a retest of this area up here, kind of a retest of this triangle shape, lower highs, relative lows, kind of a longer retest and then a rollover, but it just didn't do that today. A lot of wicks on the candles getting into the last hour of the day. So that's interesting to see what's going to happen for tomorrow. Already after hours, it has sold back off. It's definitely possible that it could be gapping down again. We kind of had a flat close or flat after hours yesterday, and then, continued lower pre-market today. Tonight, we've got, an after hours rollover. If we can get a little bit lower, get down to 1590 or so, 1591 here, we could see a bit of a retest back up into any of the levels in here. It'd be great to come up and retest 1607 from below and then roll over and continue lower. So, we'll wait and see what happens tomorrow, but let's jump into the options prices. So with this selling off and the idea of going bearish, there were some opportunities to get in right at the open. The open price, wicked down a little bit with the 1600 put. It opened at 525, came down to 480. That whole range, kind of dancing around 5, was the high that we got up to yesterday. That's what I'm showing yesterday's pricing here. From here, getting in at 5, which was possible, or getting in here 6 by 5, hopefully getting filled as this candle starts to form. That ran up really quickly. I mean, you could have gone in 6 by 5 on this candle if you had had it set up as this candle's forming. It's pulling back on this one, and then it breaks out here, and flip that out. You're getting in at 6, get out at 8 or 9, get 2 or 3 R, and just be done, or get back in when it comes down to 5. I was busy with some stuff this morning. I was getting a trade set up 6 by 5 right in here, thinking, okay, it's got a nice hammer here. If it pulls back to 6, that's a great place to buy. Thinking it's not going to get back down to 5. I did not submit the order. I had to deal with something else that came up. And then I looked back at it about here or here. And it's like, oh, look, had I done 6x5 here, I would have been stopped out. And then I still didn't submit the order. Anywhere in here, I was too late for it. Didn't think it would come down again. And then sure enough, it comes right back down to $6 right here. So I should have, because that was the right time to be buying 6x5 if it filled, and ran up, for a 10-hour trade over the course of an hour. So at 10 o'clock, could have possibly been filled at 6. And then at 11 o'clock, could have possibly been exiting at 16. So that would have been really cool. But it didn't happen for me today. So, but it was just nice seeing things play out the way that I was picturing. And, not to say I was right in getting in, but I think that was this retest here. So right back up to the hammer, getting in at 6 on the put, and then the move down here, getting 10R on that. I probably would have been looking for a move down here, and I probably would have held through some of this and maybe gotten out when it rolled back over and only got that far. So let's say I got out on this candle at 11.55. That would have been 55. So probably would have been getting 7R, getting in at 6, getting out at like 13. Or at least up here, trailing my stop up to like 11, thinking, okay, well, I got to lock something in because it moved up this high. So maybe would have been trailed out at 11. So getting in at 6, getting out at 11, that would have been 5R. I would have been good with that, but would have been bummed that I missed a 10R, with that kind of move. So if we get something like that tomorrow where we have, the same level potentially, setting up, doing 5x4, 5x4 would have worked again. That's all I'm saying. And then at the close of the day, you could have been getting in at 5 and stop at 4. And if it's rolling over, as long as it rolls over enough, as long as it gaps down far enough, then, this option should be, jumping up here some. So, sorry, I'm going the wrong way. Here we go. So this is at $5 right now. The stock is at, when it closed, was out of the money for the put. So, if it gets down to 1,600 or gets down to, 50, let's say it gets down to 1,590 and opens at 1,590 tomorrow. If the option was at the closing price of the day, it should be exactly like $10 because you're $10 in the money. But at the open of the day, it should be even higher than that. So getting into a put here, 5x4, which, I don't recommend doing this. I'm just saying, it worked once. It worked one time here if you could have done it. Worked another time here. Maybe it worked again, and this just became a really nice pivot from the level yesterday. I don't remember going back a few more days. Would that have been a good price to pivot? 5x4. Nope. We really only came into it on Tuesday with the sell-off, Wednesday with a rally, and then today with a nice buy, and a potential nice buy. So I guess we'll see where this one would have ended up, when things open tomorrow, and what you could have done with that setup. The other thing I wanted to talk through is going bullish down here, and it would have been really hard to do that right here because you're so close to this line. But anytime I see one of the options come into the $10 price, I just like seeing that. It's like, oh, putting a low at 10, cool. Wish I would have traded it. But if not 10, it rallied here, which would have been a nice gain. Pulled back, could have been getting in 12 by 11. Getting below some of these lows in here, and just letting that grind higher, and that ended up making up, end of the day, made it back up to 16 or to 18, excuse me. So that would have been, for a move from 12 up to 18, that would have been 6R, So a lot of opportunities to get in either direction. It's just about, kind of watching these levels, looking for values to hold, looking for what the options are, and for some stability with the option price. This is a really nice, not really nice. It's kind of an ugly inverted head and shoulders, but I'm seeing this push down and then retracement, and this candle as a shoulder, and then head, and then a shoulder. So it's kind of on an angle. It's a little bit of a double bottom. It just didn't get going. It just went sideways. Obviously a triangle, and we've got some nice higher lows here, which the way that this has been moving, going down this quick, this is just a retracement. This is just kind of a flag or a pennant here that looks like we're going to gap below potentially as things open up in the morning. So we'll see tomorrow what ends up happening with that. And then here's where we're at on the daily. Didn't quite get down to the low from this candle, but we're close. We're not hitting this, crisscross of these lines, but we could definitely pull back again. Yeah, I think it's significant we're below the 21 exponential on a gap down like that. We did that here. We had a bearish candle sitting right on the 21, gap down, and just ran down to the bottom of this channel again. We've done that coming out of this range before. So that's why I'm not surprised to see, a move like this today. Let's say we did it here. We're below the 21. Did it here, sold off, had a nice lower wick, and then rallied. So, it could totally reverse from here. It could, if we had a gap up, it'd be a bullish gap and go, and a really nice low to be bouncing off of. We were in the channel. We held above the channel if we gap up. So, we just have to wait and see how things look like they're going to open in the morning. If we can get a gap up, it could totally run. If a gap down, it could totally retest some and then roll over. Or it could do what this did, where it, gapped up above the line and then sold off through it into this area. This one could do the same thing. It could gap down below and then, kind of move a little bit lower and then just rally on up and be back in this channel. So a lot of opportunities, just watch for what's happening on the chart in front of you and look for these key levels to interact with. So I like seeing a level like this where you have an inverted hammer right on our line. This one here, you got a hammer right on the line going bullish. And those are these two red main lines that we're dealing with today, because we didn't get into this one. And then this one, ignore the purple one. Remember? So that's what I'm saying this week. So with the squeeze forming here, it's after earnings. The next thing that could really happen on Amazon is, kind of a nice long move as this as the squeeze triggers. So that's what we'll be watching. Last time we had one trigger was up here. Look how far down we've come since then. We're way up here. We ran down a few days, retested, rolled over again. Hundreds of points lower. With that kind of a momentum, or with that kind of a squeeze forming and firing, we could be doing that here. We could be setting up for a squeeze, to go bearish. It's gaining bearish momentum right now. And that could totally push us lower and for longer, get back into 1300s again here, right? Yeah, we're in 1307. It could totally come back to that same area if this were to just, just collapse. So got a lot of lines in the way for it to pivot and bounce around if something like that happens tomorrow. The way this is setting up, it looks like it should, but I don't want to call it saying, oh yeah, it's definitely going to. But I would like it to hit the 1578.25 price. I guess we'll see if that happens tomorrow. Hope you enjoyed this video. This is Just AMZN. Thanks.